And I just got done watching the Kendrick Lamar Ken and Friends concert. So I'm fresh off of watching that. And I want to give my thoughts on it, man. I think it was a great, first off, round of applause to Kendrick Lamar for what he put on. He put on for the whole West Coast with this show. I mean, everybody from Inglewood to Compton to LA, whatever section in California you were in, he showed you love. And no matter what time frame you were popping from, he showed you love. He had artists from the 90s there all the way up till, actually, I think in the 80s as well, all the way up till, in today's current time, showing love. It started out with a set of DJ, what's his name? DJ Heard? DJ Head, something like that. DJ Heard. I forget his name, man. Apologize for not. DJ Heard started out with his set, bringing out, it's the theme was basically the main guest or the main person, which was DJ Heard starting out with friends. So then he brought out a bunch of artists and people. Then DJ Mustard had his set, DJ Mustard and Friends. He brought out YG, whoever, a bunch of people that he's, done work with. And then it's Kendrick Lamar and Friends. And, of course, Kendrick Lamar brought out a lot of people. And he basically brought out all of TD. It was a great, reunion show for all of them. Overall, the show was just, I don't know, it left me speechless. Reuniting Black Hippie, Dr. Dre, which shocked me. Dr. Dre popped up out of nowhere, and then Kendrick Lamar performed. And then he started out the show, of course, with Euphoria, which was the best way to start out the show. People saw him pull up on stage. He's kind of leaning down, and then all of a sudden you hear the beat, and then he raps the whole 7 minutes of Euphoria. And everybody loved it. And then he gets into kind of his classic hits, DNA, Element, Swimming Pools. He performed All Right. He performed a lot of records, right? And then Dr. Dre came out, and, he performed California Love. He performed, I think, Dre Day, or I forget what record. Why am I forgetting this? The title of that record. Whatever. Performed that. After he performed California Love, I think that was the last track he performed. And then, mind you, I just got done watching this, so I don't remember every single thing. But he got done performing, and then he was about to leave, and then Kendrick says, "Wait, Dre, don't you got something to say?" And I thought that Dr. Dre was going to announce some new music or something crazy. But then he said, "Psst, I see dead people." And then when he said that, everybody knew what was going to happen. Not Like Us started playing. And the first set that he did with Not Like Us, he stopped at the A minor part. Probably A minor. And then the beat stops, and then it goes quiet. And then he repeats the record. And then he repeats the record again. He performed it, I believe, 5 times. I could be wrong. Maybe 6 times. But then once he got to the 5th time, he started bringing people on stage. There's Russell Westbrook. Basically, everybody from the West Coast, specifically California, was on stage. I saw Big Boy on there. Face that I recognized were Big Boy, Westside Boogie, Russell Westbrook, basketball player, DeMar DeRozan, basketball player. LeBron James was actually at the show in the crowd, but he didn't go up on stage. Bunch of people there, man. Obviously, everybody from Black Hippie, TDE, whoever's in the West Coast, Roddy Rich, whoever's in the West Coast, he showed love to, man. Unity, and they took a group photo, and they were all on stage, playing Not Like Us over and over again. It was beautiful, man. I think this year, Kendrick Lamar really, without even releasing an album, did a lot for hip-hop this year and gave us a lot of moments that years down the line we're going to look back on and be like, wow, that was such, you're going to remember the moments you were when you watched this show, whether you were there live or you're watching on the Amazon Twitch channel. You're going to remember where you were when you were watching it. You're going to remember where you were when Drake dropped Family Matters and then Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams right after. I remember exactly where I was and how I reacted. You're going to remember, a lot of these hip-hop moments that are something that are timeless, that, I was too young to experience when Nas and Jay-Z were going through it, when going at it, 50 and Ja Rule, and I do remember 50 Cent and Rick Ross because I was, at that time, I was 14 years old. It was 2009, 14 years old. So I remember that a little bit. Yeah, I actually remember that pretty well. Never mind. was saying a little bit, but I remember that actually where I was and everything. But for the most part, the younger, like the 90s stuff and the early 2000s stuff, I don't really, first off, 9 times out of 10, I didn't know what the hell was going on. Like when I bumped back down back then, I knew it was a diss track towards Ja Rule, but, I didn't think of like anything deep with it. Years down the line, I found out that it was something serious, Regardless, like shout out to Kendrick Lamar, man, and all the people that put the hard work to put this show together. It was a beautiful show, man. And honestly, with them dancing on stage like that and, Kendrick Lamar rapping Not Like Us, to me, that looks like the music video. Like he could literally just take that and just post it on his YouTube channel and label it the music video, and it would be just as good as an actual music video that's shot. Great moments, man. And, I think Kendrick doing this is going to get Drake in his feelings again. And I think he's either going to just send subliminals through IG captions, or it'll ignite Drake to drop another diss track. And then maybe we get a whole round 2 of this stuff. So, who knows? I don't know what Drake, I don't know if Drake actually saw it, watched it. Who knows? While I'm recording this podcast, something could come out, and then, another battle starts. I think Kendrick does have records loaded up. And I think he's made it very clear that if Drake sends subliminals on tracks or drops a diss track, he's ready to go again. And you got to be ready to go. I mean, at this point, it's a full-on battle. I don't think it's over. I really don't. I know that the tracks have stopped and it's been a little bit chill for the past, month. I think there's going to be, this, if this doesn't reignite it, there's going to be something else that reignites it. If I was Drake watching this, I would feel super disrespected because a lot of people on that stage either worked with Drake at one point or showed support to Drake at one point. So DJ Mustard has worked with Drake. Roddy Ricch has worked with Drake. Yeah, there was a record that leaked with Roddy Ricch and Drake. And it's a fire record. It's called In the Cut. I'm in the cut. The boy in the cut. That record is fire. It leaked, never ended up making like an actual album or whatever. But Roddy Ricch has worked with them. DJ Mustard, obviously. DeMar DeRozan was obviously a basketball player for the Toronto Raptors, and he was close to Drake at one point, wearing OVO outfits. He was on stage yelling at OVO. Russell Westbrook, I don't know if he was close to Drake or at all. I don't think he's ever, not him. But like a lot of people on that stage, you would think YG was on that stage. He's done records with Drake, has been close to him a few times. So I think Drake is gonna do something. It's a smart move by Kendrick Lamar what he did, man. He made, not only he's unifying the whole different gangs in LA and just Cali in general, but, bringing the whole city out in unity to disrespect one person is like genius move, man. Imagine if 50 in his prime was going at Nas, right? Let's just say like the 50 and Nas thing went full blown, because the 50 and Jay thing never really went full blown because, Jay's a subliminal disser, just ducks and dodges. But the Nas thing and 50, they went out a little bit, Imagine if 50 did a show like Kendrick did in New York and started bringing out all a bunch of New York people that used to fuck with Nas, or like that would have been insane. Like people would have been, so that's what Kendrick did. He brought everybody from the West Coast. The interesting thing though, Snoop Dogg was nowhere to be found. You would think with Dr. Dre performing that one record, you would think Snoop Dogg would be there, and Snoop Dogg would be taking a photo and showing love. Snoop Dogg was nowhere to be found. The Game was nowhere to be found. Who else out of L.A. why am I slipping here thinking? But yeah, The Game and Snoop Dogg not being there, it's big. That kind of shows where people are siding. Now, Snoop Dogg has always said, like when he got asked in an interview about the battle, who are you siding with? He's always said, hey, they're both my nephews, and I got nothing to do with it. So maybe that's why he didn't show up, because he's probably like, I don't want to take a side on this. I like both of them. I'm not one for beefing. Dr. Dre clearly didn't give a fuck because he showed up and showed love. Game, on the other hand, he's taking a side with Drake. Based off his social media posts, he's siding with Drake. I don't know why. I think he should be siding with Kendrick Lamar. I don't know why he never would side with Kendrick Lamar. Maybe he's butthurt about the Super Bowl thing, that Kendrick took maybe his spot. Maybe he felt like he should have took Kendrick's spot, or I don't know, but I think Game not siding with Kendrick is a dumb move. I think siding with Drake is just. But yeah, uh, amazing show, man. I don't know what else to say. I think it's a genius move on Kendrick's part. It puts the nails in the coffin. It solidifies that Kendrick won. I mean, just look at Not Like Us when he performs, man. The crowd is just ridiculous. I wonder if this is the only time he's ever going to perform these tracks. Is he going to make it part of his set list when he goes on tour or when he does other shows? I don't know. I think he should, man. Not Like Us, at least, should be the record. The rest, you can say, okay, you don't have to perform them. But Not Like Us, that's obviously a banger. Number one record, insane streams, insane numbers. So, yeah, I think there are also, speaking of numbers, there were reports out there that Kendrick used bots and that he was boosting his streams and stuff like that. There's two things that people got to use common sense on when it comes to this stuff. One, anybody can bot for anybody. Like if you guys wanted to bot for me and just boost my numbers up, that's you guys doing that. I have no control over that, right? One, it's obviously illegal to bot, views. So if it gets tied to the actual person's account, if Kendrick was botting his views and YouTube caught him doing that and somehow tied it to Kendrick, they would have obviously penalized his account, probably suspended it, or who knows where that happened. But anybody can bot views for somebody. So with that being said, people need to think that maybe there are hardcore fans on each camp stands, and there are, that maybe some of these stands have money because it costs money to bot. It's not like a cheap, you can bot like 1,000 views, 5,000 views, 10,000 views, but to bot millions of views or millions of likes and dislikes, that costs money. I don't even know how much it costs. I'm willing to throw out there. I think there was a number on Twitter that was revealed. It was like $2,500, something like that. That's a decent amount of money, So, as long as there's no tie to the artist, we can't blame either artist if there's bots being used, because that could just be a fan. The second thing is the price of how much it costs to bot music. Mathematically makes no sense that these guys would bot their music, because that would be an infinite money glitch. Because I believe if you get certain, like 1 million streams, you get $12,000 off that. So if it costs $2,000 to get 1 million streams from botting, then you're just making 10 grand every single, that's an infinite money glitch. Every artist could do that. Unsigned artists could do that. Why wouldn't unsigned artists do that? Why not pay $2,500? Get 1 million bots, 1 million streams. That money that you get from those 1 million streams, you get 10 grand off it. That's an infinite money glitch. So that mathematically doesn't make any sense. So I don't know about the bot thing. Even if it happened, if it didn't, I don't know. I just don't see it on either side, by the way. Now, I can see on Twitter, like what people don't realize is on Twitter, it was actually revealed just recently that Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, was paying for bots to manipulate the election here in America. It's going to happen with Donald Trump and Joe Biden, to have people vote for Donald Trump, because that's a better thing for Vladimir Putin if Donald Trump becomes president. It got revealed that there was a bot that was literally pushing and arguing with people about Trump, vote for Trump. And how it got revealed was the bot wasn't paid. So the developer revealed, hey, he put out the code out there, which the code led to a bunch of, the person's Twitter account, the fake Twitter account. It had a verified check and everything. It looked like a normal, regular person, but it was a bot. So when you think about this, when you're online on social media, arguing, especially on Twitter with people, you might be just arguing with a bot. It's not even a real person. So what did Dave Chappelle say? Hey, I don't judge my life off of social media. I judge it based off real life. So we can't go off of social media. There are artists that have millions of followers on social media, but they can't sell 5,000 copies of their album. They can't sell any type of shows. So that's the difference. Be careful with that. So there is botting, obviously, when it comes to social media and trying to push narratives. I believe that. I can believe that on the Kendrick side, and I can believe that on the Drake side. The music streaming bot thing doesn't really make sense. Now, I can believe if If that Drake song, The Heart Part 6, which got like 1.7 million dislikes, which is astronomical, if that got botted, I can believe that. That, that kind of makes sense. But the fact that people, and no, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense with the streaming stuff if you really break it down. So that's my thoughts on that. Let's finally get into the news.